Hi, it's me again. I've got some Twitter related topics today that I wanted to discuss, and I've got some un-Twitter related stuff for once. I was thinking about my account the other day, and I was, following my followers as usual. I had new people come in, and I like to sort of go on a person's profile on Twitter and see what they're about, read a bit of their biography, maybe click on their website, see what they're doing and why they're choosing to perhaps follow me. And I like to send them a direct message, saying thanks for following me, Dave, Steph, whoever it may be. And it's great to see that you're in search engine as well, or social media marketing, or maybe an unrelated business of sorts, and it's great that you follow me. Thanks a lot. Hope we can add value to each other. I found it interesting when I sent one of my followers a direct message and he sent me a direct message back, and it was thanks for following me, I'll follow you back. Now I immediately knew that this was like an auto response that a lot of people have on Twitter, and it kind of like offended me in a way, because I felt, oh, I'm just another follower to him, I'm not important. It sort of wasn't personal. I mean, like, Twitter, we're here to exchange information, to create a community, to sort of talk to one another. And I found, like, with him, it was just, oh, you're just another person, another follower, just to increase my numbers. And I really thought that that wasn't proper, I guess, etiquette on Twitter. So I was talking to Ken MacArthur, I think his name is, on Twitter, and he said, he goes to each person's website, sees what they're about, sends them like a personal message. And I think people should start to do that, because it does add that sort of personal touch to it, and it makes you feel important. It makes your followers feel like they are important to you, which they should be. Each and every single one should be. And it gives this sort of like sort of breaks the ice, opens the doors a bit to communication. Maybe contact them outside of Twitter, maybe email, if it gets to that point. And I really think it does make a difference, as opposed to just an auto response reply. And I mean, people can tell when it's an auto response. And ways that you can maybe make your direct messages a bit more personal is add the person's name in, and like I said, know what the person's about. Like, when you're clicking to follow them back, like, you can click on their website, on their Twitter account. Right there's a small little biography of what they do. Just say, oh, great, let's see your music, like, we'd like to hear some of your stuff, or just sort of create that conversation. And that doesn't make them feel like they're just another number, and they're more likely to probably remember your name and keep you on, like, their favorites, as opposed to someone that was just, oh, thanks for following me, follow you back, have a great day, when they were the ones that actually followed you first. So I'm really against auto response. And funny enough, there's a new Twitter tool called Twetiquette. That's etiquette with just TW in the front. And you can follow them on Twitter, and they give you great ideas on how to behave on Twitter. So, linking to the proper content, to your stuff, as well as they mention direct messaging. I mean, some people will disagree and say, you know what, I just don't have time, I have a lot of followers adding me all the time, I just can't do it. That's fine, that's your opinion, but just my personal opinion, and apparently Twetiquette's opinion as well, that you should really add that like personal touch by just recognizing the person a bit more than just sending off a auto-response direct message. Another interesting thing that happened on Twitter while I was sort of going through all of this was I found a follower of mine, and her name was Betty Draper. So I followed Betty back and sort of said, thanks for following me, and I noticed that she was actually a character from a show. Now, I found this rather interesting because I've never seen social media sort of applied in this way before. Like, I've seen actors and actresses, okay, they have Twitter accounts, but like, the actual character from a show was on Twitter, and they were actually tweeting, it seemed like, events that were happening in the show, like, itself, like as if the show was on Twitter. I didn't really understand what was going on. It didn't make much sense to me, because it wasn't like they were promoting the show, like, oh, this is what's going to happen, these are the events, the times and dates that it's showing on whatever channel. It was just purely as if the character was real and was living a real life and posting, oh, there's a tea party, there's this. And I don't even think it really was the same as the show itself, although I haven't really looked further into it. But I wasn't sure, like, who are they targeting, first of all? People on Twitter. I guess, like, if they were trying to target a viewing audience or a younger audience, I don't really see that on Twitter. And I really thought it was, like, the first display of poorly done social media, because it really didn't add much value, and they have quite a few followers, but I personally don't think that I think that they're just for the number, really, just to have an extra person follow you on Twitter, because I really didn't understand it. If you understand it and want to message me and let me know what that was all about, but I just really thought, I never thought social media could really be done wrong, and to me this was a perfect example of how it was done wrong, because even more characters from the show then started trying to add me, and I thought this was ridiculous, and they want you to vote for them so they can, you know, be the best character in the show or something ridiculous like that. I can see, like, they're trying to be different, like original, but I really don't think it's working for them, because I think they're going to lose a lot of followers, because what they're posting is just really not helpful to anybody, actually. So yeah, that was pretty interesting.